We are live at the Canadian Warplane Heritage Museum for a special Remembrance Day programming, and a big thank you to Kotak Law for its support this year for our Remembrance Day programming, not only for Morning Live, but also the Lest We Forget broadcast beginning at 10:30. Nainesh Kotak from Kotak Law is with us, and you brought your son here today.
I did, yes. You know, I've been here doing this for 6 years,
wow.
And I think he's been coming with me for 5 years.
Okay.
He started out here, and now he's my height,
yeah.
And he'll be turning 12 this year. So wow. It's always important to bring him out so he can also appreciate the day as well.
Excellent. Welcome, Aaron, and welcome back once again. And this is a special time for you because you support first responders, veterans, when it comes to their mental health.
Absolutely. You know, so Remembrance Day to me is so important. You know, if we look at the invisible injuries that people have, and you know, after serving, whether it's veterans or first responders, the operational stress-related injuries, and the support is needed not only during service but after. And these two organizations, Wounded Warriors Canada and Boots on the Ground, are organizations that I've been supporting over the past few years, particularly Wounded Warriors since 2015. Boots on the Ground has been 2 years now. So Wounded Warriors Canada, they began during the war in Afghanistan, when we were seeing, you know, injuries, orthopedic injuries, and people were coming home with post-traumatic stress disorder. Well, they've expanded actually all throughout the country. They provide service to children, first responders who have seen parents go through really dark times. They're constantly expanding. And Boots on the Ground, they are newer, and it's a volunteer organization really that provides what's called peer-on-peer support. So there's phone lines. You know, you've got first responders, whether it be police, ambulance, paramedic, fire, even 911 operators, and they can call in to get support, because what we're realizing over time is the operational stress injuries take a real toll on those people who serve us.
Why is this important to you? There's so many causes that you could give to. Why these two? Yeah,
you know, my view is this. Look, if you're doing well in society, you've got to, you know, it's important to give something back. And to me, I've chosen this. You know, we sometimes take our freedoms, our democracy for granted. We see this around the world, unfortunately. And, you know, we can look back. Who has helped fight for this? Who has preserved this? These are our veterans and, you know, our soldiers, but also who is out there every day at the front line putting themselves at risk, our first responders. So I think the synergy was there, really to give something back, where I feel like really those who have helped us, I want to give something back.
Do you get the sense, or maybe you've learned, that they are improving because of these two programs?
Absolutely. You know, I'll give you some examples. You know, one of the, obviously the biggest tragedies you have with PTSD ultimately is suicide. And I think if even one life can be saved in those circumstances, enough has been done.
Yeah.
They've done. Obviously, more needs to be done. Yeah. But Wounded Warriors, definitely, I've noticed, because it's been about 10 years, and just their expansion. When I meet with some of their people, and we talk about the programs, and particularly that for the children. You know, in terms of mental health, so I'm actually president of Every Mind Mental Health Services, the board of directors, and so I see through that organization mental health issues when it comes to children. If it's not dealt with, how that can affect the person growing up later in life. So when you have Wounded Warriors Canada helping children, you've got, as well as adults, you've got Boots on the Ground helping peers. You've got two organizations that are really worthy of our support, and I'm honored to support them.
There's also a partnership with the former Hamilton Honey Badgers, now the Brampton Honey Badgers. Tell us about this.
Yeah, so as we know, they used to be in Hamilton and Great Cement, now they're in Brampton. So what I do is I have what's called a Salute to Services game, and we've done this now 2 years in a row, where I bring out veterans, cadets, and it's so nice. You know, we bring out actual veterans from Sunnybrook who have served in the Second World War, for example, and we bring them out for the day, do the donations at that time, and you know, take care of their needs. And you know, we also used to do this back in 2015 to 2020 with the Brampton Beasts for ECH hockey. I used to do that for veterans as well. So I'm hoping I'm able to continue this. And the Honey Badgers, I know you guys missed them in Hamilton, but they're such a good organization. They got new ownership there with Len, and I think they're going to do great things, and I love to partner with them in supporting our veterans and our first responders.
Thanks for being here today. Thanks for bringing your son and passing along that tradition of knowledge and storytelling. We're going to hear a lot more stories coming up here on Morning Live after the break. Good morning.